Hey Scorpio, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nina. And today we're doing September predictions for you. This may apply to Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. Keep in mind that this is a general reading, so it may or may not apply to you. Take what resonates and leave the rest that doesn't. Don't try to force the message to work if it just doesn't work for you. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so at Sinfulpluto on Twitter. And I think that's it, loves. So let's go ahead and get started for you. What's going on for you in September 2020? I hope that you're all being safe. I hope that everything is okay. I hope that you are making the best of our global situation at this time. I hope that you are getting through. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on for you in September. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands reversed. Okay, you might be limiting yourself in some way. We have, what is this? The Knight of Swords. Okay. We have the Hanged Man. Alrighty. We have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. We have the Six of Cups reversed, Ace of Pentacles, and then bottom of the deck is a Page of Pentacles. Okay. Here's the Page of Pentacles, and then under that is the High Priestess reversed. So blocked intuition, or maybe not listening to your intuition entirely, trying to ignore it. Okay, what it looks like to me, Scorpio, is that you were looking for instant gratification. Yeah, it looks like you're looking for instant gratification. Three of Wands reversed is like thinking of the short term, instant things, short-term goals, things along those lines. And then Seven of Pentacles reverse is inconsistency, looking for instant gratification. And with the Knight of Swords reverse, this is like rushing through something, not really paying attention to the details, kind of impulsively jumping into something without much forethought or any foresight or any sort of planning. And then with the Hanged Man, this can signify that it ends up putting you in a position where you are like stuck, or where you are required to slow down. It feels like if you've been trying to rush through something, you're being forced to slow down. That's kind of what this feels like. And it feels like this is kind of a habit that has been perpetuated throughout your past, right? Six of Cups reversed, it has been perpetuated throughout your past. And you just keep on repeating this cycle of wanting this sort of instant gratification, and it's just like not working for you. And like the spirits are like, yo, you need to slow the fuck down. You need to build a solid foundation, right? Ace of Pentacles, you need to start somewhere. You need to build a solid foundation before you go about and like just go willy-dilly. That's not the word. What's the word? Willy-nilly. That's the word. In terms of like whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. Again, with the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, it feels like you have a very entrepreneurial sort of spirit. Maybe you have a lot of ideas that you want to profit off of, or maybe there are just a lot of projects that you want to, engage in, or whatever the case is. You have a lot of excitement to maybe make money or to build a solid foundation, whatever that might be. But there is still a sort of inexperience, a lack of experience that you might have that you only gain through learning and by making mistakes and by maybe observing others as well, and also just taking your time in general rather than trying to rush something. What this kind of feels with the Page of Pentacles is like you kind of overestimate yourself a little bit and you're not really thinking long term. It kind of feels like you're thinking short term. You're thinking short term goals, short term you know, instant gratification, things that you can manifest immediately. And, you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's good to have short-term goals and like want to meet them, but it kind of feels like you're not thinking very far ahead into the future as to what you want. It kind of feels like you're doing things day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, and that's not necessarily beneficial either. And it feels like there's a sort of laziness or a lack of commitment on your end. Maybe you expect things to kind of fall into your lap with minimal effort, and that's just not the case. If you want to, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, honey. And if you're trying to build Rome, it's going to take a lot more than a month to get what you want. It's going to take a lot more than an hour, more than a day, more than a week. It's probably going to take up to a year or more to begin building whatever it is that you want and to profit off of that, or to reap the rewards of your labor. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel that in September, like the universe, you know, your guides, I feel like spirit is really going to push you to slow down. It's like, I feel like it's going to get to the point where if you don't slow down at your own will, then like the universe is going to step in and it's going to have to intervene and do things where maybe you end up feeling cornered and where you end up feeling almost like attacked. And that's kind of like the feeling that I get. Like I feel like it's gonna, if you don't do things on your own, if you don't make adjustments on your own, I feel like it's gonna have to corner you. Like the universe is gonna have to corner you and be like, hey, now slow the fuck down, sit in this corner and think about what you want to do in the long term, because this short term thing isn't gonna work out for long. And I feel like or it could also just be that other people in your life literally end up intervening and be like, hey man, what's your plan? You know, what's your 5-year plan, man? Are you gonna go to school? Like, what's the deal, my friend? You know, like what's going on? If it's not like a universal sort of mystical thing, it could also just be like friends and family, or just people in your life who kind of bring awareness to you, maybe needing a 5-year plan, maybe needing like a 10-year plan, or just a 1-year plan, okay? And having a better idea as to what you want, you know, what goals you want to achieve. Where do you see yourself in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years, 10 years, and so on and so forth? And it kind of feels like, it feels like for some of you, you don't want to grow up. That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like you're clinging on to a thread, tiny little thread of childhood or of adolescence. You know, maybe some of you recently turned 18 or recently turned 21, right? And you have, you know, adulthood looming over your shoulder, right? You have to grow up. You have to learn how to do taxes. You have to eventually maybe go to school if that's in your path, or, you know, eventually get a job on your own, you know, no longer rely on mom and dad or whoever is caring for you to give you what you want and what you need, right? You have to learn how to do things on your own 2 feet rather than kind of like just being childish and that sort of thing. So if that's the case for you, I really feel like you'll end up having a sort of wake-up call in September of like, okay, adulthood, it's inevitable. Don't want to do it, but I have to. So what can I do about it? And how can I prepare myself? How can I better prepare myself so that when something comes up, I know what to do, right? Whether it's like insurance, taxes, whatever it is, you know, getting a car, going to school, you know, what career are you gonna take on, right? Instead of, you know, doing all of these side hustles because they make quick cash, what long-term job do I see myself in? And do they require any sort of skills? Do they require schooling? And if so, am I willing to go to school? You know, what sacrifices am I willing to make so that I can build a stable long-term future for myself and for possible future generations, if that's what you want? That's kind of what it feels like. And it it really feels that now is really the time for you to start planting seeds, so that a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you can start to reap the fruits of your labor in those times. And you know, it might feel really frustrating and daunting, like, oh my God, like that's so long, but I promise you, with like, it passes so quickly, especially when you are committed and when you are dedicated to bringing to life whatever it is that you wish to pursue or do, or whatever it is that you want for your future. Like, time passes so quickly. 3 years is gone in a blink of an eye. And while you are living it, it might feel slow and annoying and tedious. You have to deal with the annoying, tedious details that no one wants to deal with, right? You know, like, for example, getting your AA, that's fucking tedious as hell. Getting, what is it? Is it your bachelor's? Your master's? I think it's your bachelor's. That shit is tedious as hell. Schooling is tedious as hell, right? Like, it's a lot. Training for something, it's a lot. Whether or not it's like you're professional, in a professional setting, maybe you're trying to teach yourself how to draw. That shit can be really tedious if you have no experience in drawing. You know what I'm saying? But I really feel like it builds up in the end. Eventually, you get that piece of paper and you can go into a professional job that perhaps pays you well. And you're able to build a solid and stable life for yourself. But it's not going to happen if you continue with the impulsivity and with the reckless decisions and with this mindset of trying to be a kid forever. You can be a kid at heart. You know, you don't have to let adulthood take that away from you, but you are going to have to conform to adulthood, which is basically growing up, right? And finding something to do in this world to help other people or to help yourself in the long term, to help your family in the long term, whatever it is. That's just the way of life, right? That's the way that a lot of us have to live. We have to provide for ourselves. We have to learn how to do that, right? And it's fucking annoying. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that you have to stop being a kid. Don't stop being a kid. You can always remain connected with your inner child, right? You can always do things that make you feel connected to your inner child. But you have to start working on becoming that adult, if that's something that, you know, you are currently dealing with, right? It's time to grow up. So, yeah. That's what I have for you. And I think September is really going to make you think about that and really make you look at things from a different perspective and, you know, have sort of like a wake up call or like different little epiphanies that you'll have throughout the month. And you're like, okay, oh shit, I got to get my shit together. So yeah, you start from the bottom and you work your way up. So yeah, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope it resonates. I hope you were able to get something out of this. And with that being said, I'll talk to you later. Bye.